If you're still feeling a little bit sore and maybe a little worn out from doing the anti-gravity treadmill, you can come in here and zip yourself into the Normatec sleeves that are going to help out your legs and help with your recovery even more. Dr. Mike's going to explain how this device works.
All right, so what we're going to do first, we're going to get Jamie all zipped up into his boots here. And so what this is doing a systematic compression. We're starting with down at the ankles, compressing its way all the way up towards the top. And what we're doing is for athletes specifically, we're helping to pump out excess lactic acid, decrease inflammation within the legs after a tough run or a tough CrossFit workout. Other thing it's really good for is just swelling and edema. Postpartum, after pregnancy, or just individuals that suffer with lymphedema, this can really help to aid in pushing that all out. So what I want you to do, Jamie, is 2 little black tabs on both sides. I want you to grab, make sure to pull them all the way up into your hip crease as far as they can, and that your feet are pretty neutral in those sleeves. Feel like your foot's in a pretty neutral position, not twisted or torqued or anything. All right,
we're good.
Hooked up here. Alright, so what I'm going to do next, we're just going to kick you back into that full recline position. We need those feet above the heart to help with that inflammation. I'm going to turn it on, and there's a bunch of different levels that we can turn this up to. We're going to start it off on a pretty low end, but you'll feel it start to compress at your feet. And what it's going to do is just work its way north from there, but then do this one, and then kind of work its way up from there. So right now you're at a setting of 3. This goes all the way to 7 in terms of the amount of compression.
Right.
Everybody's numbers are kind of a little bit different. It's more just kind of a personal preference as to what you feel is going to give you the most relief of that.
Like the animated toe. Each of the pockets are filling up a little bit from my toes to my ankles, calves, knees, quads, and now right in the hamstrings. Getting pretty tight. At first it felt a little bit tingly, but now everything's nice and snug. I can imagine that on a winter's day, this would be wonderful if you had a blanket and one of these. You're helping to recover, plus you feel all warm and secure at the same time. It's kind of like a pleasant, comforting feeling, but it's a very tight pressure all the way, especially in the ankles, and it's starting to move up my leg right now. Pretty interesting. I can feel it as it loosens up between pulses. I can feel it sort of my foot expanding and letting the blood back in and stuff like that. You've probably seen these around, maybe at local competitions, but definitely at the regional level in CrossFit, and especially at the CrossFit Games. I see videos on social media of athletes posting about using these types of devices all the time, and I see them in the athletes village, at regionals, at the games, stuff like that, using these for recovery. So it's definitely an interesting experience. If you get a chance to use something like this, I would highly recommend it. I can feel it really working in my legs all the way from my hips down to my toes, and I can only assume it's going to help with a speedy recovery.